With the rise of anime popularity in the West, there has been much more demand towards adult anime series. Luckily for us, there have been a lot of adult shows airing in recent years. Netflix has taken an interest in the anime industry. Therefore, there has been an even more significant rise in the adult anime industry. With Netflix bringing us its originals and Japanese studios delivering some great anime, we are more than happy to present you with our list of best adult anime series that I would recommend you. The anime is ranked overall in consideration of story, art style, character development, and pacing. I have added those I think are good among the plethora of adult and seinen anime shows. Therefore, I believe that you will find a good show for yourself if not more than one. 10 Dorohedoro, the whole is a dark and distorted district, with no laws to follow, in which the strong hunt the weak. It serves as a testing ground for magic users that dominate the area. The citizens of Hole appear as nothing but mere insects in front of the magic users' eyes. They are often murdered, mutilated, decapitated in public and humiliated. The story revolves around Kaiman, who appears more reptile than human. Despite his unusual appearance, he's a good guy and a skilled hunter. Kaiman works with his peers to take down the magic users thanks to his magic immunity. The story's mood can jump all over the place. At one time, it is comedic, and at the other showing us death and massacre. This unique blend is what makes this one of the most intriguing adult anime series. 9. Beastars. Beastars sets in a society of human-like animals. There are no humans, and instead, animals are the prime piece. There's a distinct difference in society between carnivores and herbivores, which also breeds distrust, discrimination, and racism towards particular animal groups. You can say that this anime portrays our world very well through the image of animals and their distinctive cultural differences as races. The story follows a grey wolf, a typical student Legasai, who one day finds himself overwhelmed by his instincts to kill an animal. How will Legasai deal with his primal instincts, and how will they affect those around him? 8. Bkino. Bkino is not an anime that everyone would recommend in their top 10 list for adult anime series. And that is mainly because a lot of viewers drop Bkino early on. The anime starts showing off several unrelated events. However, what must not know is that those events get connected later on. That is why I would recommend you give this series a try even if it's a bit hard at the start. The main themes in the series revolve around the mafia, alchemy, immortality, and survival. The story is really good, and I would call it one of the best adult shows. 7. Shinsukayori. I have to say that Shinsukayori was one of the few bizarre and fucked up anime that I came across. And it confused me a lot when I started watching it. Honestly, I had no idea what was going on, and toward the end, I was still a bit confused. It took me 2 times of watching it to thoroughly understand the concept and the message that the anime is giving. Mixed with darkness, lies, and deceit, Shinsukayori gives us a unique story about Saki Watanabe, a 12-year-old girl who has just awakened her psychic abilities. She is accompanied by Satoru Asahina, Mamoru Itu, and Shun Aonuma. They live in a secluded village where everyone has psychic abilities. The town is shrouded in darkness and mystery. The story ends up portraying the dark side of humanity and leaves a rather peculiar message. 6. Genketsu. Genketsu is based on the 19th century French novel by Alexandre Dumas, The Count of Monte Cristo. However, it is different than the original novel as it has elements of robots, aliens, spaceships, and evil spirits. Not something you would expect from an anime based on The Count of Monte Cristo. And a lot of people ignore this anime. However, it is an excellent adult anime series. The story follows a young aristocrat named Albert. Everything starts when he meets a wealthy nobleman, Count. Befriending him, Albert invites the Count to meet his family and friends, without being unaware of Count's ulterior motives. I won't say more so I do not spoil the anime for you, but I do recommend you try it out. 5. Drifters. Drifters is another bloody and gore-filled adult anime series. Although it's a bit less brutal than Goblin Slayer, I can tell you that it is much more action-packed. The animation is really good, and the fights are very well animated. Not to forget that there are also a lot of fights going on. Tohisa Shimizu dies at the Battle of Sekigahara. Then, suddenly, Shimizu is transferred to a white hallway. There he gets transported into a new world that is unrelated to his. In this world, people like Shimizu that come from different times are called drifters. There Shimizu finds out that as a drifter, he must fight against Ents. Ents are the people who created the Orte Empire. They wish to annihilate all the elves, demihumans, and especially the drifters who stand in their way. 4. Devilman Crybaby. Devilman Crybaby is a Netflix original adaptation of the old Devilman series. If you want to know the watching order, I will include a link below. I loved this series when it first aired due to many things. The first thing that captivated me was the music and the opening. It was terrific, and the opening was intriguing. However, when I started watching the episode, I was astounded at how bad the art is. Or that's what I thought. What seemed to be bad art at first actually ended up being a unique form of animation. And that animation is one of the main things that make you fall in love with this anime, and it gives it that unique vibe you cannot find in any other show. The story follows Akira Fudo, who under certain circumstances becomes a Devilman. 3. Goblin Slayer. Now before you jump into watching Goblin Slayer, I have to warn you that this adult anime series is filled with gore and blood. After a long time, we finally got a dark fantasy anime adaptation. Goblin Slayer World shows the world of adventurers and quests. However, in a very dark and much more mature or so to speak realistic way. However, if you can handle it or if you love realistic shows with lots of blood and cruelty, then you should check out Goblin Slayer. You can also expect to see things such as rape. However, they are a bit censored, although you can tell what is going on. The main character of the show calls himself Goblin Slayer. The story starts when he meets an inexperienced priestess, who later decides to team up with him. Together they go on goblin hunts and slay them. 2. Shikuri Death Frenzy. Shikuri is one of those anime that viewers tend to drop quite often. I think it was my 4th try that I got into the show, and the reason was pure boredom. However, I was quite happily surprised by this show. It has delivered on so many aspects I do not know where to begin. First of all, the animation is superb, and you can see top-notch animation throughout the series. And by animation, I do not mean just animation. The art and the design of characters are also very unique. You can see that there was a lot of time invested in all the characters. Even the side characters look unique and stand out from the rest. The story was great, accompanied by some realistic sound effects. If you are looking for a good samurai adult anime series, then Shikuri is the show for you. 1. Monster. Monster is a classic among adult anime series. Although it's or better say, it was quite popular, a lot of newer generations have not seen this anime, or they don't want to. The reasons could be due to old animation, or slow pace at the start. However, I would still recommend you to give this show a go. It will be a roller coaster of psychological changes and states of what a person can go through. It makes you wonder at times. The story follows Dr. Kenza Tenma, a talented doctor, who one day refused to save the major's life to save a patient that came in earlier to his hospital. Leaving his boss furious, he loses his position and his fiancée, and slowly his life starts going downhill. Not knowing that the boy he saved would change his life forever.